Well, I want to leave this, and hopefully somebody will come through and decide it's worth saving, because I'm an archivist and I'm trying to help people. So we're the stewards of the world. We're finding our place in the cosmos. Why you're here is hopefully your soul to advance in a way that we call ascension, leveling up, and it's like the game of life. So I've always said what my mother taught me is we are the authors of our own life journey. And if you don't like your story, then change it. And they're trying to prove academically that some of us are saying we don't have free will now in consciousness, because they're breaking it down and unpacking it, the neuroscience of it. But that word, and Tommy was asking if we were going to get into aliens and all that, so I just changed the whole name. So, Tommy, it's okay. I just put you as a talk experiencer, and people can take it for what it is, but aliens, good or bad, there's all kind of people, there's all kind of aliens. And a lot of the people out there seeing them and visualize them are manifesting them. And you can learn in paranormal. We're under spirituality. I may have to change it to paranormal now. But the thing is, it's paranormal is getting to be where we're carrying most of the UFO stuff, and Tommy took it there. So it's a different thing that Tommy did than what I wanted. I wanted more of a spiritual, uplifting, love and light kind of spiritual love and all that in the different realms, and how we could gather our level up in the game of life. But I don't ever tell him what's going to happen or what's going to go on, and we just have to accept each other, how we experience life. But one thing we do both believe in is we're both creators, and we both believe in a God. Now, each individual, depending on their programming and how they were raised, they say you're not responsible for what you were taught as a child, your programming. But as an adult, it's up to you to change it. And in the Buddhist religion, or the Dalai Lama has said, if you can't help something or someone, please don't harm them. So, we have the do what thou wilt and harm none, but we also say do unto others. And the Christ consciousness is all about what Christ taught, right? And we use, at least I do, Yeshua. You can say Yeshua ben Joseph, but we believe in the Christ consciousness, meaning what do you think in your world and the way you were raised, and the way maybe you were in a religion, maybe you're not. But most of my friends, and I have learned this for the last 25 years, even in Kentucky, I'm in Florida now, that they say, I'm spiritual, I'm not religious, because so many people have left churches, Tommy, and you can get into all that. But that's what I wanted to talk just because you brought up the word aliens. So just remember, folks, each individual may experience aliens. They may experience good ones where there's a phenomena about those that are abducted. Some of them say it's due to their DNA. Some say it's because of the family origin. And I want to talk about AI, too, and how it's going to be, because I'm really curious how we're going to be working from the future. A lot of people say that the people we call aliens or extraterrestrials coming back are because they stepped away from what we are as physical biologicals, meaning we're carbon-based units. So, Tommy, you remember Star Trek and the Borg, but I would like you to see if there's a way you can bring in good aliens and bad aliens, like Star Trek. They say the Federation. There's good ones and bad ones. Think of the AI too. All right, I'll mute.
Let me explain it. All right, I got to explain it differently. All
okay.
right, here's the thing. All right, when we say good and bad, and the human race has a programmed idea of how they have to live, and that was changed because of an alien race. All right, now I can go back as far as Atlantis, when man was spiritual. The human race was spiritual. That was here. There was 9 races here. When they were changed, they became warring, belief in killing, belief in sacrifice, and all those words. That's not spiritual. There is no race that has become part of this reality that taught anything spiritual in this reality. They have created the saddest situation that we're moving into. Now, it would be great if there were spiritual things that any alien race could teach us, but there isn't, because I deal with reality and what's happening. Exactly. That proves where we're going. For wish and dream of. A good alien doesn't exist in this reality because they have done nothing to show the human race that it's good to do something. Now, let's start with, okay, what do we believe in? We believe in God. They don't believe in God. They don't believe in feelings and emotions because they don't have them. Any alien race don't have feelings and emotions like humans do. So they don't understand that. So their concept, they don't even know what the word love actually means either. Now, to show you something different, TJ, which is really important, love did not exist until after Jesus went into the idea and showed what love was. Not from the beginning of time to the present of Jesus, there was no such thing as love. So all those aliens that were here came and went and disappeared, changed realities. There was never a concept of love because it was never shown. So the concept changed because Jesus was married to Mary Magdalene and had children. His people saw him with her. That's when they understand about love. You can't teach what love is. There's no way to teach a person about love. It's an experience that a person has to go through. But in our reality, people in a relationship, love is deteriorating. Very few families, it's 60 to 80% that can't stay together in a lifetime. They can't get along for a lifetime. And so the concept of love is not the perception of being a real thing because people are not ready to stay in a relationship. They have a problem, they leave. The relationship splits up, they fight. So when we talk about love, it was never a teaching about love. Nobody can teach about love. It didn't exist for thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of years. So women are still in the negative place. They're not considered equal to men in general in any belief system in the world, not just the United States. So the concept of good aliens, there has never been a good alien race to give us anything spiritual. There's not one proof of one thing any alien race did positive for the human race. Everything they did was negative. The Mayans, everything they taught the Aztecs were negative. Even the prophecy that they gave to the Mayans was delusional. It has nothing beneficial to a human race. But the sad part is there is nothing beneficial going to happen for the human race soon. The main thing is people have to realize the human race is going to be useless in the next 10 to 20 years. No matter how positive you want to be or how much you want to pray to, the human race is going to be limited to being useless. There will be aliens working with reptilians, which work with the Greys and every other race, but as far as programmed people, it'll be robots. There'll be no need for humans. A corporation will have robots doing everything. They don't need people. The population will be depleted. This whole thing is part of the scam, part of the New World Order, the UN New World Order, basically called the UN Agenda 21, 22, 23, and 24. And that was approved by many countries around the world that started in 1998, saying they want to eliminate and create one world order. And these countries accepted it. But the main purpose of what's happened in the United States, they have to break down the United States to take over the world. And that's reality. It's not delusional. So the concept that the new car that's going to be out next year will be completely running by itself without a person in it. So that means there will be taxi cabs, there will be planes and everything else without people doing it, which will eliminate more jobs. The whole thing about companies, like even Walmart, they have robots loaned in the stores already. And within a year or two, there will be no humans doing work in the store. So the population will be depleted. It's not going to grow, no matter what we pray and wish and dream and hope for. It's what people might want to think about, but it's not real. Look at the future. Look at the present. What's happening right now? There is the Christians that are 2.4 million people, a billion people. The Muslims are 2.2 billion people. And neither one of them could explain God at any level. All right? The concept of love. The Muslims' belief of love is so horrible if you understand what they believe in. So when we talk about the changing of reality, it's nice to dream that it's good, everybody could say what you want. I mean, you could dream that everything's going to be beautiful. Aliens can teach us something. They can't teach us anything about God. The only thing they can teach us is about traveling through the universe, nothing else. There's no teaching of any race, any of the races that come here. I work with abductees since I was 14, losing their children at 8.5 months pregnant and things like that. And I have a show with a woman that's been abducted recently, and she'll explain. She's one of the few people that can actually explain what's going on with alien races. Because even Travis Walton, his story is limited. He's very unaware of what really happened when he was on the ship. Then you got all these people telling incredible stories, which are twisted because it doesn't matter. It's not helping us move forward because we're not moving into a space that's going to be able to vibrate at a higher level. So when an alien race comes down here, there's when they say good or bad, the United States, Russia, and China have different viewpoints. Are we good or bad? We have an accepted idea of reality. Every alien race has their own accepted idea of reality. So when you say good or bad, no, they're not good or bad. They have their own reality which they believe in. They don't believe in God, but it's limited. So when they come here and people say they work with them, there's nothing they're teaching us. Anything we have learned from an alien race is only about weapons and technology. It has nothing to do with compassion, has nothing to do with love, has nothing to do with family. All right? So, I mean, it's a great idea, and I'm a hardcore person because I would love to see, like when somebody says it's my soulmate and things like that. That's not true. There's no such thing. And when we believe that good aliens are coming here, what could they teach us? Nothing. There is nothing they can teach us. I mean, it's dimensional beings. They work with individual people. But it's to teach them to move into the higher realms. That's all they can do. This is the lowest vibration. There is no positive, pure love energy on this planet. Nobody has reached that level or can stay in that level. Any relationship is limited, and it's cut short because of reality and acceptance. But now that the aliens are going to be exposed soon, there's 9, I know, TJ, you mentioned about the nine races. I call them the 9 silent ones. They are in control of the universes and how they affect us. But they're not here to control love and compassion. Love doesn't exist in this reality to the level that it should be. In Atlantis, it did exist. It was the only time it did form a truth to our reality. Nobody today understands what's happening. What's happening with the United States right now, understanding what's happening with the war and how we will be going into war. They don't have the scenario. The black race wasn't the first race of slaves in the United States. People need to know actual history to understand what's happening. The whole United States was always evil people. They were never good people. The way they slaughtered the native people, I mean, the native people actually had slaves as well. And when the slaves were given freedom, the native people were the first people to let go of the slaves. But again, it was never about true compassion. And nobody's in a point where they respect another race. The black race is coming up with horrible ideas and programs and destroying the United States right now. And we have serious problems going to happen. It's not getting better. There'll be no alien race to make it better. They're here to take over what they need from this reality. And it is food. And nobody can talk about that. Aliens don't need anything other than food. They don't need gold, which freaking certain people that talk about the Anunnaki, that whole story about the Anunnaki, it's one race of one beings. So when we talk about mind and traveling and these dimensions, it's not important for people because they're not ready to move beyond the astral plane. There's nothing about love, and love means understanding God. That's all it means. It doesn't mean, oh, I love people on this planet. That doesn't help. It's not going to change anything. Mankind is slowly losing its purpose of being here. It's not becoming any better at any level. I mean, you want to teach love and compassion, make everything beautiful. It would be great if it was, but it's not. Realize right now, the people in the black race that are destroying civilizations in the United States are already working for specific things that are happening. It has nothing to do with good love, compassion. There's no alien race here helping us. When people say they work with them, and I know thousands of people say, well, they were on a ship. And what did they teach you that was spiritual? What proof do you have that it's going to help